Hey everybody, this is Linda with Stamping School. Last time I did a video, I showed you this candy cane bundle and I said I would come back and show you what to do with this. This is one of the dies that comes in this candy cane bundle. Page 9 of the Stampin' Up! You know, I still call it the holiday catalog. This guy right here. I get more questions about this and what to do with it, and it is really cool. And the main question that I get is on the sample right here, page 8, how do they do this? And crisscross it and make it go in both directions and have it be green back there. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you 5 or 6 things to do with this, and they are not all Christmas. I got a couple of birthday and different things to try with it. So honestly, I could have kept going. And it's 9 o'clock tonight. My video is supposed to go up by midnight. It's kind of my personal goal to have it up Saturday night by midnight. But I just kept going. I was like, oh, what about this? What about this? This was so fun to work with. I wish we could buy it separately, but you can't. It's in the bundle with the sweet candy canes, like I said. But you can get just the dies. You can get the candy cane holder and that I showed you last time and the 2 candy canes and leaves. You don't have to buy the stamp set, but it is kind of nice to have it. So if you wanted just this big one with the candy canes and that, it's $35 for just the dies, $51.25 for the stamp set and the dies together. Probably going to be retiring soon. All right, let's start with the basics. Cutting it out with real red cardstock. And then I save all the little parts and pieces that come out. I'll show you something to do with those. This is just thick Whisper white paper. So if you cut your paper at 4 inches by 5 1/4, which is a nice layer, you get a teeny little reveal around all the edges. And then when you run that through the machine, it cuts it out like this, and you'll have a nice layer like that. It's pretty easy to glue down because you've got all of these solid pieces right here to glue down. So it's not too hard, and then I just kind of hit the corners a little bit and then stick it on. Of course, you can use something different kind of glue, but I find that works pretty well, and you get that cool candy cane effect. And then I added a little bit of Wink of Stella with that little glitter pen in here because I can't leave well enough alone. So I went through all of the little skinny areas and added a little glimmer in each one. And then I just added a simple greening on here. So a little bit of ribbon right here and here, some greenery, and a few little rhinestones. And I love it. It's just really simple and easy. This is the Christmas to Remember stamp set, and I love this sentiment. Friends like you make this season special. Easy. Right. Then the next one, if you want to step it up a notch, cut it out in white and then add it on top of red glimmer paper or any kind of shimmer paper, anything sparkly. It's really pretty. And alternatively, what you could do is you could add strips of ribbon in here, washi tape, anything in between here, but I just love the sparkle back behind it like that. And then I put it on a larger card. So this card is the next size up. This is 4 1/2 by 6 1/4. Still takes just one first class stamp. And I added this bow on the top. I kind of cheated on this. These are some pre-made bows that I got for some bridal shower things years ago. And they came in a big bag. I got them on Amazon, and they're all pre-tied bows. Made in China, unfortunately, but 7/8 inch. They're pre-tied. They have like this little bread tie on them, so you can just hook them on things. But they're so convenient to just stick on here. But I wanted a nice, bright, fat bow on the top, and shaded spruce card, and then the sentiment tag. And let me show you the inside. I love that. So you can also use it as a little gift card holder because it's got all these really cool slats in here. So this one I cut larger with white. You can kind of see. So this is 4 1/4 by 6, I believe, piece of cardstock. I'll put the measurements for you down below. Just expand the description so you can see my link to the PDF with all the measurements. But I cut it here and then I left a little bit here so it kind of filled the card better. And that gives it a nice border all the way around so you could put your tape. So it creates like a pocket so you can stick this down in there. And then I'm just gonna add a little bit of this glue and cover that piece up with some sparkle paper. And then it makes this really fun gift card holder. So it kind of has like a little pocket. It's just a tag with a gift card, a little to from, nothing too fancy. But I love that you can kind of just slide it down in there inside the card. Now to answer the question, how do they do that? Page 8, how do they do that with the crisscross and not see through it? That was a little tricky to figure out. So here's what I did. I did it in soft succulent, but I needed it to go all the way through, but you have to be able to open it up and sign it, but you don't want the white to show through. So it's a little tricky. So the first thing I did, 4 1/4 by 11 long ways. Okay, score at 5 1/2 to make my regular card. Run it long ways so that you can put the die on and then run it through the machine this way. That's the first step. So what we have is this, like that. Then you need another one. And this one is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, just another piece. And you can do coordinating colors. I'll show you what that looks like. But to do the one like in the catalog, they did garden green. I'm doing soft succulent. So it's the same, but now we gotta flip it over. And now we can glue that down here and here, okay? And make a sandwich of all three, and that is how you get the card to be solid. Otherwise, if you put white on the inside, it looks like this. And not that there's anything wrong with it, but it totally just changes the whole look. It makes it a little more busy. So if you want it to look like this, then what we have to do is glue these two pieces together. Yeah, it's a lot. I'm not, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I would make a lot of them, but this is how it works. I'm gonna put these two together and then I'll show you how to get the white card. You just need enough glue. Tack this down on the inside. I like kind of changing the colors up and kind of layering them, and I'll show you what that looks like. But to get the monochromatic look that they did, this is how they did it. I'm only gonna go around the edges because I like it to kind of pop up a little bit. Kind of looks nice, kind of loose, like that. Okay, so it kind of has a little bounce to it. Okay, now we still need a card. So now what we have, we've got 3 layers here, and unless you sign the back of it, which you could do, so you could add a piece of cardstock back here, but we want the card to open. Take a thicker piece of white, and you're gonna cut it at 4 1/4 by 6. And then you're gonna score a 1/2 inch. And that is how we make the card base. So a little glue back here or your tear tape and glue that flap here. This is a lot. I mean, I commend the concept artists, for putting these samples in there, but this one, unless I'm not seeing an easier way to do it, I wanted the card to open. And there it is. So you got a little seam right here, but that is the only way I could get it to be green all the way through. And then I decorated it up, which it's really pretty with that pretty holly set. Okay, and then my white card on the inside, and then I have some room to write. And there we go. That's how they did it. I'm pretty sure that's how they did it. All right, let me show you some other things. Now, if you like puzzles, and if you want to save paper, this kind of works. So you're gonna run this through. You run a piece of green, this is the succulent again, run your cardstock through, save all your pieces, then you're gonna flip this over, because that's what we want, okay? So we want it to look like this. So we have to make like a little template. So you start gluing on all of these pieces. back where they go, and they kind of, well, it's like a puzzle. If you like puzzles, I'm not really a fan of puzzles. If I was on Survivor and I had to do it for $1 million, I would solve puzzles, but it's just not my thing. But if you like the puzzles, this is kind of, you know, something to do. And if you don't want to waste the paper, you just go through and you glue all these back in. I skipped the little ones because that was like too much for me to even think about doing, but I glued in all of these little pieces here, glued them in, and then when I lifted it up, it looks like that. Actually, I did do the little ones on this one. That was crazy, gluing these little guys on there. But then what you have is a very skinny. You could do this on a white card, and then you would have something that looks like that. That's kind of cool for someone who has lots of extra time. So now let's do something that's not holiday related. I ran this one through designer paper. That's the new Fitting Florets Pretty Paper. And I thought, well, that would be really pretty on here, like that. So it's delicate, but it cut just fine. No problems. And we're gonna glue this on, just like that. This is an evergreen card. So that's pretty, and it's pretty the way it is. And then I thought, well, what if I glued in these pieces from the Blushing Bride? Because, you know, apparently I have lots of time. But I added all these guys in here, just the wide ones, and I left the dark green. And I glued them all in. I'll save you the time of watching that. And let me show you the finished one. And this is how it came out. It's kind of pretty. I like it. So you can see where I added in all of these Blushing Bride strips. The green shows through from the card, so you don't have to glue in those green ones, thankfully. And I just added the designer paper flowers and an oval and some ribbon, and I really like it. And that's not too bad to glue in the bigger ones. So then I thought, I love blue and green plaid, so I thought this might be kind of fun. So I cut one in garden green and one in navy. Okay, you have to flip one over so it's on the back side, like that, okay? So I put the blue one upside down and then this one. So I love that plaid. I think that looks great, even for a birthday or something. I can add it to crumb cake, or I can add it to white, and it looks really nice either way. And then I can add like a fun sentiment, but I think I'm gonna do it on the crumb cake. All right, let's try gluing this on. I haven't put this one together yet, but let's try it. And there's the green. It looks a little bit dark, so do I wanna add this white in here? Why not? Let's try it. Let's try adding a little bit of these. Just a few of these. What would that look like back here? Let's see. Yeah, that's probably gonna look good. I'm just gonna do 3, because, you know, we got things to do today. All right, that looks good. Let's add these two together. And then we're gonna add just a simple sentiment. This is gonna go to a guy that has been helping out some of our neighbors, doing some chores and things for people who can't. So I'm gonna send this to him. It's kind of cool. And then the other thing you can do with all these little parts and pieces that you have left over, you can use them as banners. And they're 1/2 of an inch. So you can stamp your greetings on there and use them like little banners so they won't go to waste. So look, we're just gonna cut this one here, cut this one here, and I'm just gonna glue that down. Just a fun little plaid card. You're a great guy. Keep it simple, and I've got room to write. Oh, I feel like I want a few more little white pieces in here. I may add those before I take the picture. Just a few white going in the other direction, because why not? We can. And that's it. So this is really fun. I really had fun with this, and I'm sure there's a lot more that you can figure out to do with this. But every card looks different. I love that. It's very versatile. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss when I post. And we'll see you next time. See it, learn it, stamp it.